Alright, I am joined here by Review Bruh to find the best console on the market right now.
Happy to be here, Cuban.
He do be here. So, I think we do have some different opinions on some things, and I know you don't know a lot about the Xbox.
Yep, never owned one.
But, I think we can both agree, this belongs here.
That is so true.
The Switch Lite sucks, dude. It's so bad. What's the upside? The upside is it costs $100 less than the Switch.
That is true. You can't switch out the Joy-Cons. You can't put in a TV or anything. There's no point.
That's the big what you mentioned. You can't switch out the Joy-Cons. That's really, really bad because Joy-Cons drift. So
yeah,
like you can't switch to a Pro controller or anything. Like when you use this, it's going to drift. You can't even take them off and replace it with a third-party one. Like it's just not. It's not very good. I don't think it's viable. No.
Pretty sure a lot of people have like TVs. TVs I feel like are more common today.
Yeah.
So the only reason you would get this is if you just want it to be $100 cheaper. But I just don't find a reason as to why you should buy a Lite.
What I don't understand about the Lite is that it's not a clamshell design. Like you know how the DS and the Game Boy Advance, like all of those kind of like clap shut. So you can put it in your pocket and actually take it somewhere, but for some reason, they chose not to do that with the Switch Lite, and I think that really makes it weird that you can't just slide it in your pocket and take it somewhere for a console that's only portable. Like, this doesn't fit in anyone's pocket comfortably, even if it does.
You say that, though. Now you say that, it's kind of funny, because, like, when it came to the DS era, they always released the original, and then they would have an upgraded, bigger version. But now here it's the opposite. They just make a smaller one, it's useless.
And what I also liked is when they released the Switch Lite, they also released a Switch with a longer battery life. So the Switch Lite is still stuck, only getting like 3 hours of charge max. Whereas if you just buy a normal Switch now, it gets like 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours, right? So I see no reason to ever buy this. Like, you're just screwing yourself. Eventually that's going to drift, and you need to send your whole console into Nintendo. And some games don't perform that well in undocked mode, like Xenoblade Chronicles. That shit drops down to like 300p from time to time, portably. That's
not
really
only that,
bad.
but I think they're gonna also, I'm pretty sure, make a new more updated Switch as well somewhere in the future. I feel like that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, eventually. All right, so we've talked about this enough. Neither of us like it.
Do you think it's more useless than the Wii U?
Yes. By a lot. I really don't like this. I really do not like the Switch Lite. I think if they were going to release something like that, the Joy-Cons should have been detachable because their controllers don't work, and it should have had like a foldable design. And also, look, this pisses me off too. Look, because they have like a proper D-pad on this one, but on the Switch Joy-Cons they don't. So like, why does the Switch Joy-Cons not get a proper D-pad? Because it only has like the 4 little directional things. So this console just makes me angry by existing. So it's in the bottom.
Not only that, I feel like one of the main like selling points of the Switch was like, whoa, take on the go, but you can also plug onto a TV, which I always thought was like cool, especially because like I always wanted to play Pokemon games on the big screen, and then they're like, yeah, we'll make a Lite that can't plug into the TV.
To be fair,
I don't know, they just make it one of the big selling points. And
it does sell really well. The Lite has sold really well, but
but I still think it's stupid.
No, I don't like it. I'm glad you agree. So we can move on. Next up for the second worst, I'm torn between the Series S and the discless PS5.
Oh, sorry, I got a message. So we're moving to PS5 now?
I'm trying to do this from the bottom up, so my least favorite, and then I want to finish with the best.
I see. Okay.
So for the next one, I'm between the discless PS5 and the Xbox discless. So which one would you think is worse? Because the discless Xbox is $100 less than the discless PS5, and arguably is strong. But you have half the storage, and obviously it's an Xbox, so it has no games. But it does have Game Pass. I mean, like, I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like,
well, we can start with whichever one, but you have to remember that I never owned an Xbox, so I don't really know much of its features.
Alright, so basically, So this can't output 4K, which is like
Yeah.
it's moderately less powerful than the PS5, but it's not by much. And this thing pretty much exists as a Game Pass box.
Okay. I see.
Like, so it's $300 with 300 storage on Series S. I think it's like 352 gigabytes of storage. Yeah, 364 gigabytes of storage after system files, which is really, really small. Like, that's like what, 5 games, 6 games. Like, especially if you're like a normal consumer, you play like Call of Duties, Assassin's Creed.
And this is the newest Xbox, but digital version, or is this like the?
Yeah. So the digital version of the Xbox is different from the digital differences between the disc and digital PS5's. Only difference is the disc drive, right?
Yeah,
But-
I see the difference here: the refrigerator and then the speaker.
Yeah. But there's also a significant power difference as well, and storage difference. Whereas,
Okay.
so the Xbox Series X has a terabyte of on-site storage, and is beefier graphically, processing, whatever. But it's $200 more because this costs as much as a Switch. The Series S is
okay.
$300, and that's super competitive. To build an equivalent PC, even before the graphics cards went and exploded, that would probably
Yeah.
run you like $1,010. That's
I'd
really
say
good.
after all of that, like I said, I never owned one before. I know I'm repeating it, but
Mhm.
if I would say it's for a specific type of people that don't buy discs.
Yes.
I'd say this is pretty good, specifically since, like I told you at one point, once you're finished playing with the game, you can always delete it
Yeah.
and free up that storage again.
Mhm.
So overall, I'd say this is very good for its price.
Yes.
Specifically for digital people,
I also
because I know
think-
people like you like physical.
I do like physical, but I understand I'm a dinosaur, and additionally,
plastic.
I think if Sony had the same exact console, it'd be a lot worse. But because Microsoft has the Game Pass, you buy this for
Yeah.
$300. I think Game Pass Ultimate is like $14.99 a month. So
Yeah, I've heard that the Game Pass for Xbox is very good.
So yeah, you just get an insane amount of value because you can just, as you said, uninstall and install games. Long term, obviously it's not the best, but even still, you're gonna take a couple years before you really take a loss on this, even with the paid online and all that other bullshit consoles make you go through. I
Yeah.
think this is actually a really good deal for most people who buy, because most people who buy consoles buy like 4 or 5 games. Like people who aren't like super into gaming and just do it to pass time, they'll buy like a Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and like a racing game and like Spider-Man or something. So
Yeah.
for that kind
you
of
could
person,
think of this as like a light, but a Switch Lite, but this is actually good.
Yes.
Instead of it being bad.
so would you put this in decent with flaws or pretty good? Because I was thinking decent with flaws, but now I'm actually kind of leaning towards pretty good.
Decent with flaws.
For not me, for me specifically,
Well-
I don't want it. But for like the average consumer,
Yeah.
like 90% of people who play video games, this is a really compelling box. I think.
So wait, real quick, what do you think would be the flaws for this one?
I think the low storage space definitely hurts it. You'll never really be able to buy that many games for it simply because, I mean, like, dude, how much is COD Warzone?
I mean, yeah,
file size?
364 in this day and age can be
Dude, COD
considered
Warzone's
small.
file size is 133 gigabytes, and this shit
Yeah.
has 364 gigs of storage. So COD Warzone takes up like more than a third of your storage on this thing. And like, again, the
Yeah.
type of person that this console appeals to is like a COD player. Like, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but someone who would buy
Yeah.
a console like this at this economy price is probably a casual gamer.
Yeah,
and I
I'm
feel like
pretty
that really
sure-
hurts them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once you get the new console and start pouring all those games in, you
Yeah.
would be able to like hold at least like, I don't know, 5.
Yeah. I doubt
something
even,
that-
like, especially, like, you'd pretty much only be able to have 3 or 4 games installed at a time, which not a lot
Yeah.
of the US has access to high-speed internet, so I think that's a huge, huge flaw with this box, and it pretty much, because it has so little storage, it pretty much pigeonholes you into playing Game Pass on it the whole time. And for a Game Pass box, again, it's a really good value, but I still just don't know if that's the most consumer-friendly thing. Personally, I would put this at the top of decent with flaws, just because of that.
I'd say with that as well.
Okay, you agree? All right.
Yeah, I agree.
It could also be the bottom of here, because again, the value's incredible, but I really just think not being able to have that many games on file, because dude, like, most people don't have high-speed internet. Having to uninstall and reinstall COD's going to take like a whole day, without even exaggerating. Yeah. And that really hurts this, just being stuck to essentially paying $15 a month for it as long as you want to use it and have like 2 or 3 games on file. But again, most people just use, like, buy consoles to play like Apex Legends and Grand Theft Auto, so
yeah.
I don't know, maybe it is pretty good for that. For the average consumer? I'm between.
I'd still stick it with flaws, because I do tend to finish games and delete it for extra space. I do have a lot of games downloaded in case I'm bored. I want to switch to another one, so just like not having that many options in terms of game switching.
And I'm trying to keep my bias out of it as well, because as you know, I am not someone who enjoys digital games, but this is me trying to look at it objectively. Objectively, it's a really good deal, so we spent enough time on this. I'd like to look at the digital PS5 next, and I honestly, I think this is pretty niche, because I'm thinking like the audience for this is someone who didn't own a PS4 and now owns a PS5.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty low, or at least only bought digital games on PS4 and doesn't care about playing their games again, and I think that's pretty low, because a lot of PS4 games, like the discs, get upgrades for PS5 for free, like Ghost of Tsushima is one of those, I think. I think God of War is enhanced for PS5, I think Ratchet is. I know Subnautica got a PS5 patch, though that's digital only. So, me personally, I just don't see a lot of people that this really appeals to, because you screw yourself over in a lot of ways being stuck to digital consoles.
I understand, especially since while I'm pretty sure so the digital for Xbox is like $300. For the PS5 digital it's $400. And not only that, I'm pretty sure, so PS5 doesn't necessarily, I don't think it has a Game Pass as big as the Xbox. I do know that you need PlayStation Plus in order to get like there's a good collection of free games, and then like another set of free games that I get free every month, but I'm pretty sure it's not as big as the Xbox Pass.
So you're the one with PlayStation Plus here. I don't have any knowledge about the value of that. I'm sure it's better than, what is it,
then
$15
you have
a month?
for the Game Pass. So for PlayStation Plus, it's I always do per year, which is 60 in total. Let me Google per month real quick. PS Plus per month. So PS Plus per month is 1 month for $10, 3 months for $25, and a total of a year for $60.
I mean, a year for 60 ain't bad, for sure.
Yeah. And let's see, what else can we talk about? At least in terms of both digital and disc for both of them, as far as I know, PlayStation 5 has got almost no games.
Yeah, it does have no games, and what really turns me off is that you have to pay $70 because you're paying digitally. So, like, let's say you want to play like Sackboy.
That's for PS5 games too. They had an extra $10.
Yeah, it's 70. So let's say you want to buy like Sackboy, brand new, like physically, you can get this as cheap as $40 physically. But if you wanted to buy this digitally, I'm sure it's like $70 on the PS. I'm gonna look right now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's $60. It seems like. So I misspoke there, but correct. Still, that's a $10 deficit again on a brand new game. Yeah. Like, what about something like FF7 Remake on PSN? Like, say you wanted to play. I know it's getting intergrade soon, but like again, FF7 Remake no sale right now is $60, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake physically right now is, oh my fucking god.
You forgot to type out remake.
No,
there it is. The Final Fantasy VII
There we
remake
go.
Right there.
Yeah, so physically right now this is 25 versus 60. So This is also
Yes.
what I think keeps this console, the Series S, from being great is just being stuck paying digital prices. It's going like you're gonna
Yeah.
save $100 up front, but then look at it. Like you want to play Final Fantasy VII remake? Oh, you're already out $25. You want to play Sackboy,
With the
you're out
disc
10.
versions, you have the choice between going digital or disc, depending on which one's cheaper. You have like options. If you go full digital, you have to pay that digital.
Yeah,
And it's gonna hurt when the physical costs a lot less.
I don't think this is as good of a value as the 1S because, as I said, the Game Pass is a way better value than PS Plus.
Yeah, how much is the Game Pass?
Game Pass Ultimate, I believe, is $14.99 a month. How much? I should
How
say
much is
that
it per
instead
year?
of speaking out of my ass. I'm
month.
gonna take a look
Do
right
they
now.
have? Yeah.
See all plans. So
Oh, they have one for PC? I didn't know that.
yeah, it's really that's why Xbox has no exclusives because it's all on PC for now.
Alright, that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
It is cool. How much is Game Pass Ultimate for a year?
That's weird. Do they not have a year option? Is it only monthly?
Okay, so Game Pass normal one is $10 a month, so that's $120. So Ultimate that'd be 15 times 100 or 15 times 12, so that's 180 a year. So obviously that's a lot. That's 3 times as much as $60 a year, but you get so
Yeah.
many more games on Game Pass. Like, dude, everything's on fucking Game Pass.
That's true. I guess in the end, depends on preference of if you like more the Xbox games or
Yeah.
the PS5 exclusives.
Now this is also why I think Game Pass screws you in the long run.
Yeah.
But generally, Game Pass just has a much better library, and this is also $100 less
Yeah,
than this
especially-
piece of crap. So
Yeah. As of now, we can consider them, I guess, emulators for past generation games because they just don't have any new games out now. So
yeah,
in terms of emulators, Xbox wins in terms of compatibility. It has a lot more
yeah.
previous generation games rather
Yeah.
than PlayStation.
So you cool with putting the PS5 digital here, like
Yeah, I'm cool with
below, like because Switch like blows, and like
Yeah.
this does exist for the person who wants to buy like the casual consumer we were talking about with the 1S, but for some reason
Yeah.
just hates Game Pass and saving money.
Yeah.
Like they're like a Sony brand worshiper or some shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right, moving on. What do you want to talk about next? Because the rest of these, I kind of like all of these except for this one, but
Yeah.
we can get to that.
I guess we can start with the Xbox because
Okay.
to get that one out of the way because the other ones that I can talk about.
I would put the Xbox here, actually. I would put it in the same spot as the 1S because it is $200 more than the 1S, and really, you're getting a beefier... This is the most powerful console on this list,
Yeah.
and it's a good price for the power, but at the end of the day, Xbox right now is a brand without any real compelling exclusives. I'm actually gonna...
Yeah.
Yes.
Infinite is still in the works as well.
Yeah, and Infinite's gonna suck.
And
Infinite's
then,
gonna
and
be
then
another
for
Cyberpunk
me,
game.
the only thing I can say is that Xbox games are also on the PC. I have a PC. Why would I bother getting an Xbox?
I'm sorry, I went and turned the light on, but you just basically said PC is like an Xbox but better, because that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because they both share the same games. Like anything that comes on Xbox will come on PC. And
Yeah.
I have a PC. It runs better, plays better. Why would I bother getting an
Yeah,
Xbox?
and you don't have to pay for your own internet, and
That is true.
all that other nonsense that consoles... You can use whatever controller you want. You can use mouse and keyboard for a shooter, which is...
Yeah.
I could never go back to using a controller for a shooter, dude.
If PlayStation didn't have exclusives and put them on PC as well, I think everybody would just...
I agree.
The consoles wouldn't be a thing. It would just be PC.
Yeah, I can agree with that. What I think keeps this from being pretty good is, again, just unfortunately being held back by the Xbox brand. Like, again, I don't see
Yeah.
why you'd buy a Series X over a Series S, because the backwards compatibility isn't real. Like, you put your disc in, but then you have to download the whole game, because it just downloads it from the Microsoft Store when it reads it, so it's not real
I see.
backwards compatibility. You can't just put it in. Yeah, because I played Sonic Unleashed, the best game of all time, on Xbox. Don't laugh. on on.
Look at this loser playing Sonic.
What? Sonic Unleashed is the best. But I put Sonic Unleashed in my brother's Xbox Series X, and it played it at 4K 60 FPS with no load times. It played it great, but it had to download it. It's not real backwards compatibility, so whenever the servers come off for this, you've essentially just got a brick that plays Series X games, and that's a hard sell for me. Where
yeah, I understand.
The console physically just doesn't even really do anything on its own, and if it's at that point, I'm like wondering, why am I not just downloading these games to my Series S for like $200 cheaper? That's where I'm at. And obviously you're paying for the power. And disk drives, again, I am pro disk drive because it saves you money in the long run. But it's at the end of the day, Xbox is still just a Game Pass machine. And this is just a more expensive Game Pass machine with a lot more power and a disk drive. But at the end of the day, I think this is actually better. I'm going to put the Series X above the Series X. I've talked myself into it. What do you think?
That's fine, dude.
Okay.
The only thing I would say differently is like I said previously, with the disc form, you have the option of choosing physically or digitally, depending on which version of the game is cheaper. As for digital, you don't really have that option, and then for disc version, you obviously have more space as well. Yeah.
All right. What do you want to do next? We got Switch, PC, and PS5 left.
We should let's end the PS5, then we can do Switch, and then we'll finish off with PC.
Alright, PS5. I thought about this. I only thought about this for like 20 minutes in the shower. But I think it's the best right now. Like right now, specifically in the climate we're in, because I'm gonna move on over to PC right now. Look at all the Majima jackets. Fuck. So these are modern graphics cards right now. Like, this is absurd.
Yes, so we're doing this one based off of pricing?
Yes, specifically because of the climate. So this is my graphics card right now, because my PC's a piece of crap. Or, my card doesn't have ray tracing, what am I doing? But, like, look at it. Like, brand new, this is like $700. I bought this for $200 last year. $200 or $300. This is more than a whole console. If you own, this is a mid to low level graphics card. I ran Cyberpunk on medium with this at 30 FPS. Yeah. This is not a good graphics card, and this costs more than this whole console.
I understand, but I'm pretty sure. I was lucky enough to get the PlayStation 5 early, but I'm pretty sure this is still an issue with PS5 and scalping. Okay. And people are also like increasing the price of PS5 up to like $1,000 or more. And then not only that, once I got it, it was fun, but then it's hard to like get into the PS5 again because like there's no games.
Okay, I see your point, but I'm going to counter that. Graphics cards are getting scalped too, and so are Series X's, and so are Switches. Everything's getting scalped.
Basically, everything's getting scalped.
But I pre-ordered neither a PS5, and I didn't pre-order a Series X. I found a Series X in December, and I found a PS5 in February. All by following, like, Twitter bots and restock. Like, if you really want one of these, you can find one pretty easily. Like, I don't think the scalpers are as big of an issue as it's made out to be. I think if you really, like, put a little bit of time into it and a little bit of effort, you can get one of these consoles easily. So I don't think scalping, especially because people are scalping graphics cards too, I don't think scalping counts against the PS5 in my opinion. And while I do agree, I prefer playing most games on my PC, I'm looking at this from a perspective of someone who has neither. And again, to buy a shitty graphics card, this graphics card's worse than the PS5's, I'm pretty sure, the one I own. So to buy a shitty graphics card's like $600, open box, $500. And then you have to build the rest of the PC.
Yeah, that's true. You have to put more money for the rest of it. And then people like you pour so much money into it just to play potato games.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Or like, emulators.
PC used to have a lot of compelling exclusive games, but now what does it have? It has Cyberpunk, which, I mean, you know my opinion on that, and it's not relevant, but
Yeah.
I don't think Cyberpunk as a single game justifies spending 3 times as much money. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator, which, like, you know, if that's your thing, cool, but also go outside.
Imagine spending $3K just to play League of Legends.
Yeah, no, so that's the thing. All the PC exclusive games, which, like, sure, they exist, but you don't need a gaming PC for them. You can run League of Legends on a toaster, you can run Amogus on a toaster, Valheim, like, Dota, Overwatch, like, all of these can be ran on office computers, more or less.
Why would you want to play Overwatch, though?
You know, I don't know, but I guess if you're stuck with a PC, you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah. I guess I still kind of differ with the PS5, though. Like, I enjoy it, but I just don't know if it's the best. Like, I wouldn't put one at the pedestal. I would just say that they're all kind of, like, on the same tier.
Okay, but let me say one more thing. Look at this from the perspective of you don't own a PS5 and you don't own a PC. Which one would you be getting right now if you own neither?
If I own neither...
Like $1,500 to build an equivalent PC, probably $2,000 to build an equivalent PC to this, or $500, and you can play all the modern games with good graphics, good performance.
Well, yeah, you are correct. I would rather get a PS5.
Like, I think I would rather own a PC than a PS5 right now, but in terms of just the prices and the climate surrounding it, I think the PS5 is the best option for a gamer who has, like, nothing going on.
Also, something I want to add, so this is actually in support of the PS5, so I bought a Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, which has, like, Mass Effect 1 through 3. It took... I bought it originally through Steam. It took me a while to download, like 3 hours or so, or more. And then when I downloaded it, it said that I needed to download Origin, but my laptop's having like Wi-Fi issues for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens there, but basically Origin cannot download, so I basically refunded it and bought it on PlayStation 5. And that should download in like 50 minutes. I don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, having games physically saves download time. That's a big deal, again, for a lot of Americans with slow internet.
No, I bought both digitally, but for some reason, like in PS5, it just downloaded a lot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, games just are built for consoles these days. Like, I'm glad I own my PC, but I can't recommend it right now. It's just how expensive it is. If I made this tier list again in a year, when prices have come down, hopefully, I would probably recommend PC over PS5, but right now, I mean, bang for your buck to play, like, what, fucking Red Dead Redemption 2, to play GTA, to play Mass Effect, to play exclusive games. Like, PlayStation has good exclusive games.
To play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne HD, coming out on May 25th, 2021.
Pre-order
Deluxe Edition.
Absolutely
if
nothing.
You pre-order. Yep, if you pre-order Deluxe Edition, you get to play 4 days early.
That is true, and that's actually, I think that's on a Saturday, so that's actually not that bad of a deal.
You do get characters like Dante and stuff, but I don't know.
Nah, it's not worth it. Don't spend $20 for fucking nothing. Yeah, I think to play all the games that are, like, considered good right now. I mean, like, PlayStation has a good library of exclusives. Ghost of Tsushima, Persona 5, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Just on PS4 alone, Shadow of the Colossus remake. And then PS5, I mean, they don't have much right now, but they are cranking out the exclusives. Returnal came out this month. For, like, the 3 people who cared, but there is Ratchet and Clank.
I have no idea what Infernal is. Ratchet and Clank has been an awaited one.
Ratchet and Clank comes out next month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank comes out next month. Demon's Souls Remastered, I mean, it exists.
It exists, yes.
Sackboy.
I feel like Demon's Souls did get a good number of, like, new people in.
Yeah. And Spider-Man's still exclusive, and I mean, again...
I mean, as someone who played the Miles Morales PlayStation 5 one, at the birth of PlayStation 5, it's good, but like the game is extremely short. So
well, let's be honest, Franny. We know the real problem with the Miles Morales DLC. I think you know what I'm talking about. A certain side quest.
A certain side quest, indeed. I know exactly what you mean.
So that's why I can never buy it. But anyway, I don't know. PS4, like, being able to play PS4 games is good, because PS4 still has a ton of exclusives that are good. Horizon Zero Dawn,
Yeah.
Gravity Rush, Bloodborne, like... It's just too
Oh yeah,
competitive.
you do get a lot of PS Plus games that I get for
Yeah.
free are. One of them is Bloodborne, which is obviously a very good grab.
Right.
Yeah.
We have been talking about this for a while, but I'm going to close
Yeah.
it out with thinking I think PS5 is the best thing you can buy right now to be a gamer.
Right now, then yeah, sure, I can agree with that.
Okay. Let's move on to Switch. I'm going to put Switch here.
Switch.
Or did you
Pretty
want to close
good,
out
but
with
not the
Switch or
best.
PC?
Let's finish with PC. So let's go with Switch.
Alright, so Switch. I think Switch is here. I would have put Switch
Yeah.
here before the new consoles, but it's just too much of an underpowered piece of crap right now.
Yeah, I think I would put it decent with flaws, cause I think what I hate about the Switch is that well, in terms of games, I feel like it kind of fluctuates in between like dryness and then like a huge pump of games coming out. I don't know, it's personally me, but things that I do hate is obviously Joy-Con drift.
Yes.
And the Nintendo Online. Nintendo is like the worst online I've ever had.
really
I
bad.
don't care. I don't care if the per year is $20, which is less than PlayStation or Xbox. At least PlayStation and Xbox both gave you like free games for the online. Was like Nintendo Online give you?
They give you NES and SNES games.
Yeah, but like I don't have.
I mean,
really
you don't.
touched
It
that
also
much.
gives you Tetris 99. I do think.
Yeah.
And Pac-Man 99. Did you know that came out? Pac-Man 99?
No.
Yeah, it's actually cool
No, I
as
did
fuck.
not.
I've been watching
Oh,
Nairo
shit.
play it. Yeah, I might resubscribe
Yeah.
for that. It looks really cool.
I still don't agree with like online. We went from DS with like free internet to like having to pay, and the service is horrible.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Wait, are you guys playing a game right now?
I agree.
Even I think even recently they threw out an online Nintendo threw out an online video, and it was literally the same video, the same like Nintendo Online video that they had thrown out a previous year
Yeah.
ago or something like that.
I think Switch
So
Online's
I just
bad.
feel like they don't really care.
I
Yeah,
do think
it is.
Switch Online's bad. But I think Nintendo. I don't think there's a single person who doesn't want to play a Nintendo exclusive. There's a Nintendo exclusive for every single person on the planet. Like,
That is true.
somebody wants to play Smash Brothers, like hardcore, like Platinum Games people want to play Astral Train, strategy RPG. You got Fire Emblem. If you're like mentally 4 years old, you've got Zelda.
Yeah.
3D platformers, you got Mario. Like, I don't think there's a single genre that Nintendo does not have an exceptional game on their console right now, and that's huge. I think.
Except Pokemon. Pokemon is a pretty
Well,
dumpy
yeah,
right
but
now.
we're getting Shin Megami Tensei, so we're gonna be all good on turn-based JRPGs.
That is true, but Tensei is not in. Oh well, 5 is an exclusive, but
yeah, 5's
not
exclusives.
No,
I-
we haven't gotten anything about 5 though.
It's supposed to come out this year, but I do agree. And, I mean, in terms of JRPGs, there is, like, the entire Xenoblade series, except for X, for
Yeah.
some reason. I really want X on the Switch, so I don't have to boot up my Wii U to play it. But I feel like that's Nintendo's strongest suit, is that everybody has a game, like, whether they want to admit it or not, because they don't want to be a little soy boy, but everybody has a game they want to play that's going to be on the Switch forever, and I think that's really compelling
Yeah.
and keeping it really strong. Also, the portability is cool. Like,
It is.
I like being able to whip it out during college classes or something, and take it out of context. Yeah, I mean, the last few
I do
years
agree.
haven't been great for me, just because I
Yeah.
don't care about Animal Crossing, dude, and I'm not big on Monster Hunter Rise, even though I know a ton of people like it, and it seems to be a quality game, and that's the thing, like, there's something for everybody on that system, and not even PlayStation has that, like,
Yeah.
very...
I agree with you. I still think it should be at least the best of decent with flaws.
You still think so?
I still think so. I don't know. I just have a. I
Alright.
just hate the how they take up the issue with Joy-Con drift and the online.
The
I don't
drift
know,
is pretty bad, but you can just get a Pro Controller. I mean, it's not... It is a $70 solution, but I've never had a Pro Controller drift on it.
That is true, but like Nintendo isn't really. They're not really. They're avoiding the issue with it.
Yeah, that's fair, but, like, Nintendo as a company and Nintendo as a game publisher are like two different entities. I think the games they publish are really, really good. They usually don't have a lot of bullshit like a certain side quest in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And,
Oh my god.
and they don't. I would put it in pretty good, but again, the power. You're really only playing Nintendo exclusives on it right now. You can't, like, it's not gonna get like Mass Effect Trilogy.
And it's only locked at 30 FPS.
Yeah, everything's at 30 FPS on that piece of crap. Or if it's like at or if it's at 60 FPS, it looks like a PS2 game. Did you know Sword and Shield's 30 FPS?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's really funny though, because that game looks like fucking Playmobil.
Yeah, it's very bad. And not only that, with Pokemon Arceus Legends coming, a lot of
Dude,
people
the
are
trailer
psyched
for that
it.
was.
Dude,
I-
the Chingling was moving at like 3 FPS.
Dude, I can't imagine being. That must be like the Breath of the Wild crowd who wants Arceus Legends, because I saw that and I'm like, I do not give a
people are excited
shit.
for it, which I guess is fine. I'm more like, I'm
I want
worried
those
about it. I feel like
remakes.
it's.
I want those Diamond
Yeah.
Pearl remakes, baby.
I feel like Legends is gonna be pretty bad. I don't know. I'm more worried about it than excited for it.
Yeah. Alright, I can agree with decent with flaws. And I guess, since we made this category,
Pretty good, but not the
I
best.
mean,
Yeah,
like-
I agree with that.
it's really, really good. Like, I like PC a lot, even though, like, I shit on PC. I do like it a
Yeah.
lot. I think for the consumer, it is the best option. But right now, given the climate we're in, I'm not gonna tell someone to build a PC. Like, that costs.
Yeah, no, I built
That's
my
like
PC
every stimulus
during this
check.
scalping time. It was not the best.
No, yeah, I built my PC for like $900 or $800, and that's basically like my graphics card now is now like $600 or $700, as you saw.
Yeah.
Like,
Not only that,
It's not fair.
you get free Wi-Fi, and I'd say Steam is a pretty good place
Steam.
to get games. Yeah, you get a lot of discounts as well.
Well, yeah, because Steam has competition. That's a big deal. Steam has to compete with Epic and GOG and people stealing keys and selling them on G2A. So Steam has
Yeah.
like a ton of sales, and the library is unmatched. I mean, you can play almost every game under the sun that isn't an exclusive at some point.
Yeah. The only weird thing is that people pay a lot of money to get the top-notch equipment and shit just to play like very low tier or like games that don't really need that much effort to
I
run.
think you just called out every single one of our friends.
I mean, I'm calling myself out as well. I
Yeah.
build a hefty PC
Yeah,
and
you're a retard.
fucking yeah, I'm retarded. We all are.
You're right. I just bought a PS5 controller when I already own one, so yeah.
That is true.
That's
I'm
pretty
not that
retarded.
good. Thank God I'm not much of a controller person. I'll stick with the OG unless it's broken.
It's white, dude. I hate white controllers. It's so corny.
Oh my God, this dude.
Alright, but yeah, we discussed PC pretty extensively with the PS5 part. I don't know if we need to go further. Like, again, in a year, when, like, this shit's buildable, like, when you can build an equivalent PC to PS5 for only, like, a couple $100 more, I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
But right now, dude, it's just ridiculous to build a PC, even avoiding scalpers.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you do avoid scalpers and get a 30 series card, that's great, but there's no game that's necessary to have a 30 series card except for fucking Cyberpunk and Flight Simulator.
Damn, that was a mess, dude. Apparently, I'm pretty sure it's still refundable on the PlayStation as
You
well.
cannot buy it on the PlayStation Store, straight up.
Yeah,
Sony is so
Yeah.
based for that.
but this isn't a game.
Oh, dude,
this
go to
is
like a
this
Best
is
Buy.
console.
Cyberpunk on console has been $20 at Best Buy forever. It's so fucking funny. But that's because the game actually sucks, even when it runs well. Don't tell anybody though.
Yeah. But at least I don't think it has a side quest like the one in Miles Morales.
I sure hope not. Maybe that is a point for PC. Move aside. No, I'm fucking kidding. I'm fucking. All right.
Putting PlayStation 5 had no reason for anyone to buy this because of the Miles Morales mission.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty happy with this list. How do you feel?
Yeah, especially Light. Like, again, fuck Light. It's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah. No,
Except
we don't
Wii U.
need to talk about that. I hate that shit. God, it sucks to see the Switch fall so far. It was such a good console a couple of years ago.
I mean,
but it just hasn't kept up.
yeah. Yeah,
I
like
agree with its
it was
placement.
super good when it came out, but like
Yeah.
the new PS, PlayStation, like Xbox releases
Yeah.
these new chunks are basically just like really affordable PCs, and then the Switch is like
Hopefully, No
it's
More
still
Heroes and
like kindergarten.
SMT5 can bump that up for me, but that remains to be seen. I'm not going to put stock into something like a game that's not out. That's foolish. All right,
So
do you wanna stop recording and join a call?
Oh my gosh, sure, why not?
Oh my god! All right, this has been Human Games and Review, bruh. Make sure to follow us on Patreon. Pay for our OnlyFans. That wasn't funny. All right.